KFJ Online. This week we're continuing on with the story in the next chapter. But before we start, I have a question for you. What do you think makes someone important? Yeah, how do you know who's important? Is it how much money they have? Is it the people someone knows? Maybe it's the job they have or how famous they are. Well, in today's chapter of the story, we're going to take a look and see who Jesus said is important. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Thaddeus. I'm one of Jesus' 12 disciples. And this is Bartholomew. He's also one of Jesus' disciples.
We thought we knew Jesus pretty well. After all, we have been traveling with him for a while and listening to him teach. He'd done some amazing things.
Yeah, like remember when he fed those 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish from a little boy's lunch? Whew, we thought we were going to look really silly trying to feed that many people with so little food.
And when Jesus walked on water and calmed a furious storm, he'd healed so many people too.
Yeah, and what about that time with Lazarus?
Oh, I wouldn't have ever believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Jesus had a good friend named Lazarus. One day, Jesus heard that Lazarus was really sick. But by the time we got to Lazarus' house, he'd been dead for 4 days. We all knew that Jesus could heal sick people, and we didn't understand why Jesus hadn't helped Lazarus.
We walked to Lazarus' tomb, and Jesus asked for the stone to be rolled away. So some people rolled the stone away.
Oh, when they rolled that stone away, it smelled awful.
Ew! Whew. But Jesus didn't seem to care. He prayed and then shouted, "Lazarus, come out!" We all watched in amazement as Lazarus walked out of that tomb alive and well, as though he'd never been sick.
Jesus is always surprising us with the things he does. But we still thought we knew Jesus pretty well.
Then one day, Jesus had been teaching the people. Now, when Jesus teaches, everyone tries to get close to Jesus. They know he's pretty special. This time, parents were trying to get their children close to Jesus. They wanted Jesus to bless their children.
See, blessings were really important. A blessing is more than fancy words.
Well, we had this one covered. Teaching crowds is hard work. We thought Jesus should take a break from teaching and rest for a while. So we just sent those parents and the children away. Not now, we said. Jesus has more important things to do. After all, if Jesus is the Son of God, he should be spending time with more important people. So we kept sending them away. We didn't want those children to take up Jesus' time.
But then Jesus got angry. We didn't know why he was so angry. We were only trying to help. If we hadn't sent them away, every child from miles around would have come to be blessed by Jesus. He could have been there all night blessing the children.
Yeah, what did we do this time? It seemed like we're always getting into trouble for things. But every time, Jesus would forgive us.
What Jesus said was so important that our friends Matthew and Mark wrote about it in their books about Jesus' life. Luke even wrote about it too.
Yeah. Jesus said to all of us, "Let the little children come to me. Don't keep them away. God's kingdom belongs to people like them." I'm going to tell you something that's true. Anyone who will not receive God's kingdom like a little child will never enter it. And then Jesus told the children to come. When he said that, some of the children wiggled out of their parents' hands and ran to Jesus.
Others were shy and tried to hide behind their parents.
Well, Jesus took some of the children in his arms and gave them big hugs. He put his hands on some of their heads and he blessed all of them. By the time Jesus was done, even the shy children were trying to get close to Jesus.
But we were right about one thing. Children came from everywhere to be blessed by Jesus. He said that to receive the kingdom of God, you have to have faith like a little child and believe. I guess we still have a lot to learn from Jesus, but we know that children are important to Jesus. We won't make that mistake again.
All right, so who was important to Jesus in that story? That's right, it was the children. Children just like you. You know, the disciples thought Jesus was doing some important stuff. They tried to keep the children from interrupting. But what did Jesus say? He said, "No, let them come. They are so important. All people need to be like children." Jesus showed that these children were important to him by spending time with them, by blessing them. Jesus wants to spend time with you and bless you also. So take some time each day this week and spend time with Jesus. Spend some time in prayer. Spend some time singing songs about Jesus and about God. Spend some time loving others because Jesus has so greatly loved you. And you will then show how important Jesus is to you in your life as well. So take that knowledge this week and have a wonderful summer. And we will see you back again next week on KFJ Online. Bye-bye.